Welcome to Transformation Matters. Shift from grumpy to grateful, from heartbroken to happy, from helpless to hopeful, from jealous to joyous, and cluttered to clarity. Using 12 themes from the book Live Inspired, stories of brave self-discovery, and the wisdom gleaned along the way, I will be sharing an idea, a brief story, and tips you can practice for a holistic transformation of your heart, space, and life. I'm Laura Staley, founder of Cherish Your World and author of Live Inspired. I passionately guide people to heal, transform, and thrive. Today I'm discussing finding joy in the messes of life. Sometimes a sense of humor comes in handy. Laughter is the best medicine. I believe that's an Audrey Hepburn quote. Often carrying this inside of you can really serve. It can be incredibly valued to be gladdening your heart and reminding yourself that this too shall pass. And the story I'm going to share with you today is about a sewage backup that I experienced. I had just moved in 2 weeks into having moved into what I loved calling my red cardinal house. It was the house that I moved into after my 22-year marriage came to an end. And oh my gosh, lo and behold, woke up to one morning to that awful stench and walked down and at first thought, wow, I could clean this up. But then on deeper reflection and Googling some information, I realized, wow, it just really, I wasn't equipped. I didn't have the safe equipment nor the will to clean up that mess. So I Googled and I found a company that a gentleman came out pretty promptly, and I was super grateful. So Tommy comes bursting into my house, and oh my gosh, he was just like this bright light of joy. And I couldn't help but, like the mirth that started bubbling up inside of me, I just wanted to burst out laughing. He exuberantly shared about he and his wife cleaning out this one home and being steeped up to almost to their necks in sewage, and how that particular home had to be, shut down and, never occupied by human beings again. Oh my. And that I had dachshunds at the time. Well, I still do have Layla. I had Layla and Lindsay, and he bonded with me about his Bacon and Brie, his two dogs, who were also dachshunds. And as I was filling out this paperwork, we were engaged in this gleeful, joyful conversation. I could not believe that this man loved his job as much as he did, because, let's be real, he was going to people's home and cleaning up the crud in their basement or in other parts of their house. Wow. Okay. So that I found myself just laughing and laughing and laughing and texting friends and being like, can you believe this? No metaphor here for the feng shui lady. Oh my gosh. I get to clean up all the S in my life, all the crud in my life. The basement in feng shui often represents the past. I'm like, okay, every little bit of caca from my past I get to clean up. Whoo! And it was really powerful to reframe. I had lived through so much up to that point, and this just kind of like put me into just the hilarity of the universe sending me this one. So I ended up just laughing and flopping on my bed that night, and I literally laughed myself to sleep. I'm happy to report that everything got cleaned up and disinfected and purified and fumigated and all that kind of good stuff. Thank goodness. And order was restored very, very shortly after that experience. So here are some ideas that you might consider for seeing the lighter side of things, or, kind of embracing that, wow, here it comes. Here's another Whew, okay, didn't see this one showing up, but here it is. I've learned that using different metaphors, metaphysical, looking at it, a challenging situation from a metaphysical perspective, from a feng shui perspective, emotional, spiritual, that can really support you in placing things in a larger context of growth and evolution. It helps me. It's kind of like this reframe. Also seeing that, wow, this isn't as worse. It didn't, like I'm still alive. I can still laugh about this. It's property, and there wasn't a whole lot of damage, which I'm really, really grateful for, because I didn't store a whole bunch of things down in that basement. Thank goodness. I had learned to clear that clutter, right? I love this poem by Rumi because it really speaks to embracing whatever life brings our way, even when it challenges us. Hopefully just gleefully welcome it. And I know that kind of is a head scratcher for most people. They're like, what? Gleefully embrace the sewage backup? But I did, and it's really possible. So here's the words of Rumi. The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And I've learned that every single hard thing that has happened, including the sewage backup, was there to teach me about being human, about being humble, about finding a sense of humor, radical acceptance. Whoa, whew, right? It just frees you to see the humor, the deeper message from the difficulty, the hot mess that just happened or is still happening. Messes help us appreciate the days or moments that aren't messy. At the very least, they do that, right? Secondly, look for the Tommies of the world who bring love and joy to the hot messes of your lives. I promise you, these bright, joyous individuals bring the gift of their attitude, their spirit of lightheartedness, and a joy in being alive and doing what they do. They're performing a just incredible service, and they're doing it with so much joy. It makes me think of the Dr. Martin Luther King quote, Jr. quote about that anyone can be great because anyone can serve. And it just takes a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. And clearly Tommy just embodied that, exuded that completely. You could also see yourself as a character in a comedic sitcom. That may help you. And you might consider, what would your favorite character say or do that makes you laugh? You could do that with a tough situation. Keep in mind the following. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's learning to dance in the rain. That's by Vivian Green. And then I also love to remember this one, hold on, pain ends. That's an acronym for hope, HOPE. And here's this wonderful quote that I really, really love by Byron Katie, who talks about, she wrote a book, Loving What Is, and she has those 4 questions and the turnaround, which are really, really helpful. And here are her words. When we stop opposing reality, action becomes simple, fluid, kind, and fearless. You might want to find a theme song that empowers you and brings out the best in you and listen to it many times a day for those of you who love music. Mine is Defying Gravity from the musical Wicked. I've also loved the song by Alicia Keys. This Girl on Fire. That's a really great one too. Or Brave by Sarah Bareilles. Those are just some examples of ones that I've really resonated with. Laugh, even if it feels like you're pretending. Fake it until it becomes real. Just like, okay, that was like, oh. All right, kind of like that. You can also open a drawer or throw away or recycle anything and everything that is no longer necessary for your now fabulous life. Make changes to your environment at the most foundational level, right there down in the basement. Throw away your torn, ill-fitting, and ugly underwear and lingerie. Buy new ones that feel good and suit who you are today. Clear a corner of your basement. Oh, definitely do that. You probably want to run and do that right after listening to this, in hopes that you don't ever have a sewage backup. Meditate as a way to watch the stinky thoughts that can flow inside your brain. Just bear witness to all of these thoughts without grabbing hold of any of them. It gets easier with practice, and then it just gets clean, clear, and still. And that definitely has been my experience. Find ways to be surrounded by smells that make you the happiest. I like to use essential oils and bake chocolate chip cookies, but chopping up lemons, arranging cinnamon sticks in a pretty bowl, or bringing in fresh cut flowers all work great too. So those are just some of the ideas that I thought of that I would toss your way in the event that you're going through a really challenging situation such as a sewage backup. Next time, we'll discuss gratitude as a catalyst with a brief story and tips to support your self-discovery, the transformations in your experience of being alive. This is Transformation Matters with your host, Laura Staley, founder of Cherish Your World and author of Live Inspired. I passionately guide people to thrive. You are loved more than you can even imagine. You matter to our world. Till next time.